So it's Thursday. These are my friends. It's been far too long, and this is Ironsworn co-op mode where we make it all up on the fly.
And we make you
It's been a while,
cry.
and we're gonna cover that gap. But first, I want to cover the technical bits. Sean Tompkin, amazing game. We've done some weird stuff to the way you originally wrote it, but we couldn't have done what words fail. We could not have done what we did without your base system. So thank you very much for that. Ethan, thank you for your continued to work on the character sheets. They are, now that we're used to the new version, for one, I think they're amazing. They're awesome. Thank you. Look at all the people. Look at all the people here. Hello, everybody. Thank you for showing up. Apparently, you missed our Thursdays too.
Things are going to get a little
Oh,
dramatic.
yeah, things are. We're
Oh, no,
already
this is
very dramatic.
Just
us.
throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we'll do the cycle. It's going to be a little different this time because there's so much to talk about. But I think we at least have an order figured out. I think
Do
we're
we? We haven't
starting.
discussed order.
Oh, I thought we did.
Kevin knows. Go, Kevin.
Oh, so I saw. Oh, I thought
We're being voluntold, but we're flexible. So
from Discord this afternoon. I thought the final decision was.
it is
I
now.
forget how it was
That's how
worded,
this
but it
game
was
works.
Karis before Robin.
We didn't discuss sequence.
We didn't.
No.
We still discussed
Okay.
style, not.
But
Okay.
I can dig
Order,
us
but-
in.
Yes, please do.
To discuss my parlor today.
Yes,
Oh, good
right
God.
back down the hole into the darkness.
There's
I
gonna
can't.
She
I
wore
can't
all
imagine
black today.
anyone better to take us back where we were.
Don't pay any attention to the cobwebs in the back of the parlor.
I've never felt so much like a fly. Amala, if you could take us back, please.
I would be happy to. Oh, except I can't smile and do this.
I can.
I'm all. Right. I have to make sure I cannot see you guys. Right. Okay. Gear didn't return to his body. I don't understand. I pushed him out of shadow. Where else would he go? I mean, Uilla is preventing me from coming close to him, and she has a vision of me wielding Callista's knife and blood on my hands. Oh gods, is that what Gear thinks? And it might as well be true, mightn't it? I mean, but what should I have done? Ceridwen says something about trying hard enough isn't the problem. We need to do something different. And I've been thinking, I mean, he who walks behind feeds off of bone and blood magic. And Callista talked about harvesting iron from people. I mean, she said the people that I added iron to, but what if we can separate magic from the influence of bone and blood and iron and starve these creatures out? Maybe I can break the iron hold on Gear's blood. But when I got back to Gear's body in Malwind, Bill had been called away and Shadow had claimed the healer. It was a massive chaos. I can't even hardly keep track. I wanted my circle here to help purify the space around Gear and all, but that Shadow was dangerous and it fled and the wolf run and Ceridwen took off after it. Okay, I've prepared the space. I can do this. But I want my circle around me, and that Shadow and the wolf run and Ceridwen, they're not gonna come back, are they? I need them. Okay. Invitation. I can do this. I can use bone and blood magic and irons right here. I can draw that Shadow and its pursuers back, and then we'll have them here and we can do this. Yes, we can do this. But then the Uilla arrived back and with Gear's spirit. And Bill said, hordes of shadows are tearing through the fleeing populace, not just the one that fled. And oh gods, what am I doing? What am I doing? Breathe. Do I need my people here? my people, they're with my circle's with me, even if they're not physically here. We can do this. Okay. I can set the circle, send out a thing to link Ceridwen in and have her actually set the circle. Okay. But I invited he who walks behind in, and I'd used his magic doing so, and I bear his markings. And now he enfolds me, holding me close as a mother's embrace, with threads encircling my wrists. And I lock eyes with the Awilla and I hear Kyr's voice. I'll say this one more time. You've earned this iron. Despite what it attracts, with us three at your back, whatever comes, we will handle. And the Awilla tilts Kyr's head back, exposing his throat. I'll tell you this, Mr. He who walks behind. You can take your bone and blood and all of this iron, and you can...
Don't know if that was the best timing ever. Wow.
You missed the ending.
You disappeared. Was that intentional?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, that was
I thought so.
deliberate?
I was
Okay.
pretty sure. The timing
Oh,
was
geez.
too good. That was amazing.
I worked with my husband to set up my technology so I could do it without messing up the Zoom screen.
Yo,
nice.
you sneaky person, you. Well done. I like that a lot.
We have cookies.
The cat.
Next. Oh, and now I can look at you guys again.
I think I'd volunteer to go last again,
Okay.
if that's all right.
I would
with
like you to
guys.
go last.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I thought of a complication. I rolled a weak hit on my way into Zoom this morning.
Okay. So, would you like to go next, Ceridwen, or shall I?
I think Bill should go.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not-
This one's a little different. This isn't defeat. I looked around and I looked around and I couldn't find no dark place to hide. So I made one. I never done that before. I done a lot of things I never done before. And now I'm about to do another one. And this one here's right stupid, this one is. But I have to see. And it drops back into the shadow world, and it's that place of the mountains where these beings were mountains the last time he was here. And they are still this time. This time he's one too. Every bit as big as the rest of them. Well, there's something I can do about that. And just this big dark arm reaches out and blocks this horde of blackness that was chasing. All right. And he just herds them back into the shadow realm. That's enough of that, then. He looks up at the mountains around him. And you lot, I figured it out a while ago, I did. When you got in my brain and you didn't take over, summit's up. I'm more than I thought I was, aren't I? I might not be one of you yet, but you mark my words and you mark this spot, Bill's ear. And you'll all eat shit for this. And then back out. And no, one more little addendum, and this part is to feet. Turns to feet, he says, My friend, I don't know which one's worse. Whether I'm right or whether I'm wrong. I don't know which one scares me worse, my friend. Delusions of grandeur. All done.
And cookies.
And cookies.
And this is again non-traditional recap for us. This is a stream of consciousness as Ceridwen rides in a circle around Malwind on Brom. I can hear my heart pounding in my ears. I can't hear anything aside from that and the rhythmic thudding of Brom's hooves. They're all looking at me, staring. I want to save them. I want to try. But the light has left them. Somehow I can tell that. They're nothing more than husks of people that didn't deserve something like this. The arrows fly. 1, 2, 10, 15. I stopped counting after that. I stopped counting after I should have run out of arrows. I stopped counting after my heart breaks the same amount of times. One of those people get close. I feel a grasp on my leg, fingers that are more claw than hand, barely missing Brom. The arrow flies into their head. At the very least, I can make it quick. I have to. This is my home. Even if they shunned me, I can't. Another arrow. They're trying to descend on the hut we're gearing a Malwind. I can't let them. I can't lose both circles in one day. I have to be able to save someone. Anyone. Brom flies in a circle of perimeter around Malwind. I don't see the white mane or the red crest anywhere. I don't know if I've ever felt so alone. So empty. Oh, no. No, you can't afford to think right now. Think later, when it's safe. Do what you can. Push on. Brom can handle the moving, just make sure no one gets in that tent. Focus. Aim. Breathe. Kadal. Fire.
Fuck.
We need to stop taking breaks. This. Whew.
I will interject just a moment before we finish the last recap. What is the population of Malwind? Roundabout?
I don't know exactly. It's smaller than
100?
It's smaller than Kenheim.
100 or so, maybe.
I think I
Maybe.
estimated it at around a couple hundred,
And
Yeah.
so,
including women, children, and everything.
Oh
so
yeah,
I
that's
would like
included in all of
to-
this.
I would like to acknowledge Bill, his care, his medical attention that he applied in the last episode. He has achieved the only 10,000% fatality rate. Give or take.
Yeah.
Yeah, stick with your day job.
It's worth a shot.
I'm a thief, Jim, not a doctor.
I was thinking.
So for the recap, this would be Gear speaking aloud, but nobody in the tent being able to hear him. Pleading with everybody in the room. Screaming at the top of his lungs, but it falling on deaf ears. he would say, I need you to do this for me. I need this to be done. I often don't know what's going on, but I saw this with my own eyes. I saw the man, not drawing blade, not carving bone to use me as some kind of sacrifice, instead cradling and sowing the seed in the soil Callista herself tilled for him. I need you to do this for me. Listen with everything you have. I know you can't with your ears, but listen with your spirit. I have new claws. I have new legs. I have new wings. But in order to use them, you need to break this anchor. Cut me free.
Whew.
Oh,
So
We go on breaks and just,
yeah. So for the viewers and for us, just to be really clear, where is everybody right now?
Ceridwen's outside the
You're
hut.
riding
She's doing a
circles,
perimeter
right?
around.
Yeah.
Yeah, around Malwind, around the hut, she's unknowingly helping with the ritual Amala started.
Right. Speaking of said ritual, where is
We don't
Amala?
know where Amala is.
Oh, okay.
Because
And-
she didn't sacrifice Kier.
Right. So she's still in the shadow
She
world
punched
somewhere.
the dagger into her own heart, right as
Yes.
the soul dropped the curtain. So
Right.
we
We
don't
don't
know where
know.
Amala is.
Gear is kneeling at the head of this makeshift table with his own face in a headlock, exposing the soft throat and the red crest wings overlapping him protectively.
And Bill
Amala
just
didn't
tumbled out of
care.
the shadow world back into the, back into the room where Ceridwen is, I guess. Would be
No,
where you
you're
come
in the
back
room
to.
with us.
You're with
Oh,
Amala.
you're with you guys. Okay, right. So yeah, it just pops back,
We're
falls
north.
out of the shadow room back into that room. Yes.
Yeah, you were on the north side.
Right.
And both the Wolfrin and the Uilla are in the tent as well, I believe, right?
I know the
Or at
Awilla
least
is. I don't know about
The
the
Uilla
Wolfrin.
is. Yeah.
The White Mane's on her way back.
Yeah, she's in transit. That's right. Because you switched to the Awilla when
She wasn't
because
fast enough to get here.
the White Mane wasn't
Yeah.
fast enough, and the Red Crest could get there.
So she was with
Right.
Ceridwen in the woods.
I should take better notes.
Oh, Austin.
I got a little teary-eyed there, guys. I don't know what
Yeah.
happened.
I'm not
Two weeks
surprised.
happened.
We'll blame it on Okem.
Enough to make anybody cry.
So,
If I remember correctly, Amala had plunged this dagger into her heart, and in doing so, conjured every ounce of strength from both bone and blood and iron in this room.
And burst it all out through
And
the shadow wings that were enveloping her. Through the puppet
blood.
master.
And she's physically no longer there? Or is she physically there? No.
I don't know.
Ceridwen.
Bill, Gear,
Ceridwen has no
you're
idea.
watching. Where is she? Is she there
well,
still in front
yeah,
of you?
you said that, and I mean, Bill tumbles back into the room, looks up just in time to see her stab herself. No, and pff. Now, does Bill see the triptych? Gear's head, you holding it up, and the wings. Or was that strictly
Looks
for
like
Amala?
You see the wings of the Awilla holding Gear's head up. You do not see Gear. You do not see the shadow wings that enveloped Amala or the threads on her wrist. You don't
Fuckers
see
can't
any
leave Ceridwen. She'll go to the spirit world and drag your ass back and kick it into next week.
Now, Gear can see Amala and the Shadow Wings. Gear
She
can
in-
see everything in the room.
Is she in the shadow realm?
No, she's not.
No, Bill
Probably
would know that.
no, she wasn't because you were in the spirit one, but you saw the Shadow Wings.
Yeah.
I remember
Yes.
saying Gear and only Gear sees this because you were in the spirit realm, so
Yes.
you saw the wings spread out from her. Because that did not happen in Shadow; that happened in spirit.
And Gear's body appears, other than that, Gear's body appears lifeless, right?
It's still struggling. It's still
I
Okay.
think he's still technically alive,
pasty. Yes.
Okay.
but he's being, I think, corrupted slowly.
And there's the mauled healer at my feet. Well, what was my feet? I've
Yeah.
now probably collapsed down there.
Ooh.
Just
Oh, in
shredded
my
and I
head,
felt
you
like
had disappeared.
Ooh.
that's possible. Because
'Cause
there's
if you were
this
still here, that then-
huge burst. I mean, as
Yeah.
Austin said, great magic. Great magic comes with great sacrifice.
yes.
I believe were your exact words.
Yeah.
And she pumped all of that out through He Who Walks Behind and all of it out in there. So I don't know what happened to He Who Walks Behind either. And she could have just sort of what such an explosion of magic would do. I don't know.
I like the idea that
Yeah,
actually,
I
yeah,
guess.
that the kind of like ships the past, and I saw you stab yourself, and then you're gone. So I can't do anything about that. All I've got now in front of me is Gear.
Probably in a bunch
You
of feathers, frankly.
Yeah.
As you look out in that split second of silence right after she vanishes, and in this wave of darkness that's spread out, it's perfectly quiet, Bill. There's a single golden thread from Gear's chest pulled taut across the room to the spot that Amala disappeared. And it is pulled extraordinarily tight, so delicate, on the verge of coming undone.
Fuck, what does that mean for the tether that Ceridwen has with Amala?
Throw this all in Bill's lap, see what happens.
I
Ceridwen's
reach
just
up.
doing her thing.
Do you need a minute?
No, I got this. I had my 10 seconds. That's all I ever need. Feet comes up on his shoulder as he reaches back for him, like he knows this is what he's supposed to do. And I crouch down so that I'm not looking Gear in the eyes. Feet is. Into the what remains of Gear's physical, corporeal form. And she Feet looks you in the eyes, and there's a moment, a shift. What's your greatest fear at this moment?
And Feet would see it, right?
He sees it absolutely. There's
can
no
see it, yes.
there's no save, there's no nothing. And then he has to look in my eyes, and then I can see it. It's that simple.
So Feet first, and then you in turn would see this scene played out with a man kind of kneeling in the middle of the field, entirely disheveled, cut, bleeding, battered, defeated. And all around him in the clearing are the bloodied bodies of vibrantly colored animals of various shape and size, lying lifeless.
I look up at the Uwilla. Not yet, I won't. He's not bloody done, and you know it. Let him go. Feet stares at the Uwilla. And Bill says, I'll do it to you. I will. I will.
And feet backs up, back into your pack.
Because he does not see the eyes of the owl. Feet, being connected on some other level, is staring directly at Gear.
Now, how does he get that information to me?
Or does he? What does Bill make of this?
Feet walks down Bill's arm and down Neowilla's wing and gets on the little cord and starts to do that cockroach upside down up the wire thing and then just disappears. Bill looks at the Neowilla. You can put that down. I ain't doing it.
And somewhere beyond the veil, the tension of the cord is removed.
Mm-hmm.
And both the tether tying Amala to this world and Gear is severed. As his body deflates.
Feet be with you both. Come on, Neowilla, we got a village to save.
And you would see Gear's limp body begin to deflate and kind of decay, as rising from its crumpled form is a small red crystal about the size of an apple. It rises to the surface and crumbles into dust as the seed no longer has a viable host.
And feetless Bill, yeah.
Let's go.
Because yeah, Bill saw you die, so he's not checking. He saw you die. Or Bill saw, yeah. So feetless Bill just storms outside to try and help, try to do what he can.
And what he sees is, I mean, we said it last week. We said basically a zombie apocalypse, and since there's bodies scattered across the ground, husks of people that no longer look human, that look corrupted. We not quite like bone walkers because they're still fleshy and stuff, but that kind of monstrousness has taken over all kinds of people from the village, men, women, there's a few children. Like, it is just devastating, the carnage, and you can hear Brom as he circles around, and you can see the arrows that litter each one, almost with inhuman precision, with an accuracy that shouldn't happen, but did in this moment. As it's almost like Ceridwen is working on autopilot at this point. She is searching out each one and kind of assessing within a matter of seconds whether this is a person that's alive or a person that has been corrupted, and then trying to stem the flow as quickly as possible.
Unseen to Ceridwen, behind her, there's a semicircle closing in on her of these corrupted. Unseen by Ceridwen, but not unseen by Bill. And all his rage and his anger and his frustration and his loss, there's only one person left in the world. And using powers he didn't know he had. It's like a tidal wave of blackness. Just, no! And just... and they're all gone. And for just a split second, when you look at Bill, it's not little old Bill. There's something else there. Just a seed, if I may steal a word, of something.
And Ceridwen doesn't stop at first because it's like it takes a moment for it to kick in. That, like, as these husks just. Are you thinking they crumpled or that they just disappear?
They just lose all their negative vitality. They're just gone.
Yeah, and the few remaining individuals who somehow escaped this massacre, I mean, either they're hiding. You can hear a few screams from inside houses, and there are a few that are running away.
And in sudden silence, you hear you see Bill's just weeping. They're gone, miss. They're gone. Both of them are gone. Dead.
What? And Ceridwen is still kind of on the horse, still kind of posed like she's like frozen a little bit in this automatic reaction, but not at Bill, obviously, but like just kind of slowly coming back into her brain.
Gear and Amala, miss, they were there and now they're not. That bloody owl tried to get me to kill him.
What? No. It was protected. Nobody got in.
I'll show you, miss, I'll show you. Come and look, it's awful. And Amala's gone, just gone. I saw her stab herself right in the heart and then she's gone.
What? And Ceridwen just kind of sits there. Like, she doesn't move to follow at first. Like, everything is processing all at once. Like, she was an autopilot and now that's been turned off and she's not sure how to process.
Bill's doing that dog thing, like, come on, and look back to see if you're following.
And she'll slowly get off of Brom, kind of like that bow-legged, like, stumble a little bit, because she's struggling, and she follows slowly. Why would Amala? What? I don't understand.
I don't either, miss. I really don't. Look here. And push the flaps open and there's Gear on the floor. Is Eula still here? Oh no, Gear's gone. Is the crystal still here?
Gear and the crystal are both gone. There's a pile of what looks to be dirt in the bed, and spaced throughout the dirt there are 10 iron hooks, each framed as if they had a spider web of iron coming out of them.
And then there's the mauled body of the poor Terran.
Mm-hmm.
Poor healer. But Amala and Gear are gone. Are the Willa and Wolfrin there physically?
The red crest is there, the white maiden is not.
Oh right, she hasn't showed up yet.
Not yet, yeah.
No, I made sure that no one got in. No.
They were already in, miss. Look, it's him. And I start pulling these pieces of iron out. And then realizing what I've got, I just dropped them.
No, they can't. They can't be gone. After. And she'll kind of look out the door, or at the flap, and what do we do?
You can see there's no answer, and then I spin around and look at the red crest. Hey, you did nothing.
It spins the head to look at you. Hops twice, opens its wings, and takes off out the open flap.
I thought I was helping.
We all did, miss. And we did. You can hear them. You can hear them out there now. We saved a few of them. We saved a lot more than that. We stopped it here. But I don't like the price we paid at all.
There's so many gone. So many of them. And for what? So what do we do? What is there that we can do?
We go out there and help them people is what we do. Them ones what are left.
They don't want me.
They might not want you, but they fucking need you, miss. Pardon my language.
I killed their people.
And you saved
No
them.
matter what we know happened, no matter what we understand to them, I just massacred an entire setting.
Well, in that case, miss, we leave. At speed. In an unpredictable direction.
Go where?
I said unpredictable. Why don't we take you home? They'll never
I don't know if I
expect
have
us
one.
pushing further in.
I don't know if I have one anymore.
To be honest, it's not really about that, miss. We just lost us a big red owl. But I don't think we're done. Just 'cause we ain't got gear don't mean we can't carry on his mission. We got some magical critters to find, we do. I don't know how the hell we're gonna do it, miss. But one of them's just round here somewhere. And he's full of these. He pulls up one of those iron hooks again. Remembering the wyvern that we saw.
What are we going to do, just the two of us? We can't. There's so many enemies.
When you're against the old world, miss, it don't really matter if there's one or two or four of you. Can I ask you a real personal question, miss?
Yes.
You had a sort of a special connection with both of them, right? We're a bit more than just friends. You were linked.
Amala created she called it a tether with me so that she wouldn't get lost.
So where do it go, miss? Right now, right here, where do it go?
I don't know. I've never tried to follow it. She was always the one using it.
I don't mean to be an ass, miss, and I know you're struggling. Could you please look?
I can try.
Why don't you do that outside while I clean this mess up, eh?
Yeah. And she'll kind of stumble a little bit, still processing. She's only half here
Yep.
at this point. And there's voices outside of people, fleeing or whatever their reaction, panic. There's not many people left, but they've just lost loved ones and people that they knew. And kind of like Ceridwen said, the only thing they know is that 4 strangers showed up.
Yep.
One of them being Ceridwen, and then disaster happened.
Yep.
And so she kind of secludes herself away and kind of goes with Brahm and tries everything in her power to connect to this tether that she doesn't fully understand.
When you step out of the tent and you reach for the reins, you turn to lead Brahm away, and you're stopped for a moment because sitting 30 feet away from you, stock still, taller now, bigger, not stalking, not watching, not moving, is a white wolf with a pink muzzle. The beautiful crystal blue eyes are closed. The ears are cocked in different directions, and it sits there, perfectly still, listening.
She'll kind of move closer to it, not disrupting its space, but kind of in that area, hoping to not draw too much attention or ire. And she'll just sit on the ground and tries to focus, and it's hard because there's so many other things going on in her head. She tries to pull at this tether, the little piece that connects her to Amala. And does she feel a tug from it? Or is it slack?
No, it's still there.
And is there a direction it's pulling her towards, or is it?
No.
It's just kind of it's like kind of like everywhere, basically. Everywhere and nowhere at the same time.
It's still there, but it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah.
Now, Ceridwen is entirely ritual
Ritual dumb.
inert, right?
Yeah.
Naive. Not dumb, naive.
She understands that things happen, but she's helped Amala, but she's never done anything with her own volition.
And are you sitting there with the white mane?
Mm-hmm.
And the red crest would also swoop down directly behind you without a sound, reach its red wings around you, enclosing you in darkness, giving you a chance to listen. Amalo, does she hear anything?
Is Gear there with the white mane?
Listening.
Okay. So you hear a disturbance off over, kind of over there in the steading. The crows are kicking up a ruckus.
And a faint, as you go to move, a faint whisper from the darkness as the wings begin to pull away. Don't open your eyes.
and there is this almighty awful squawk thing that it's not the sound of a crow.
Squawk thing.
A bird comes up from, and I don't know where I can put this. It is a, what's this thing called?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not
American
set up to share.
harpy eagle.
Oh,
An American
okay,
harpy eagle. It's a crested, kind of
Yep.
ugly bird, but
yeah, a very purpose-built creature.
black, yeah.
Function over structure.
That it is, and it's batting back at the crows, and it's trying to, it's lifting its way, and it's scolding back at the crows and whapping at them until it kind of gets free, and it's up in the air, and it kind of looks around it, and it swoops down and sort of settles to the right of your little group there, and it sort of shakes its feathers.
And Ceridwen kind of followed this voice and didn't open her eyes right away. And is trying to center herself in something other than just massive amounts of grief. That can come later.
Now, Gear hears. Ceridwen does not. Gear hears kind of a harumph. And then it sort of settles.
Okay, but does that mean that Gear and Amala can talk to each other?
Mm-mm. It's not a mala. You knew here, I think. Many years ago, I used to live in this steading.
Gear sitting there. Peels one eye open. What does he see? Not their form, not who they are, but what are they represented by?
He sees an American harpy eagle. In spirit, that's what he sees. I don't know if
Just an ugly ass bird.
it really kind of is. I don't know if
I looked it up.
Kevin has a way to show this to chat. But yeah,
Unfortunately, not with the way I've currently got Zoom set up.
Chat's got Google.
Yeah.
By next week, yes, Chat has Google. Yes,
it's a ruffled, feathered, like eagle with like feathers coming out all over the place.
It's a harpy eagle. It's exactly what it sounds like. Yeah.
Huge bird has really huge, strong, powerful talons.
Yeah.
And the thing sitting is about the size of the torso of a man. So I mean, it's a large.
I think they're pretty.
I mean, they're really pretty in a natural sense, but as far as birds are great, but it is odd looking. I guess is a more they're odd looking, not necessarily
ears.
Well, it's crested. Yeah, it's crested.
Yeah.
And
Sam the Eagle from the Muppets. He had that sort of thing going on.
American way.
I mean, it's the British way. Sorry.
Gear sitting there, his eyes closed, still listening, but speaks out. They're sad now, but they still need to move. I hear things coming.
Do you? Maybe that was me. Am I noisy? I might be noisy, and it kind of shifts around. And when it shifts around, Ceridwen does see that as it's sort of, looking around and resettling itself.
This is a very somewhat familiar feeling to Ceridwen, having one stock still annoyed figure on one side and one like and her just fucking dead set in the middle.
Yeah.
And and she's kind of startled out of this like centering thing with the flapping of this bird, and it's like unsure.
Does she
Because
look
like
at it?
she does. She's used
And
to
it turns
spirit
and
animal.
looks at her.
Red crest
And it
spreads
sits
its
back.
wings, takes off, and says, "Sorry, dude, not my problem."
Peace.
Yeah, much better. No, they're gone.
And she's oddly used to like the Wolfren and now the Awilla, but like this bird is like she's not sure if it's a spirit animal or if it's just a bird. It's hard for her to tell.
Ceridwen is a Disney princess.
She's Merida. Let's just face it, she's Merida.
Oh.
All right, where's the bear?
And she's confused and kind of looks over towards where the squawking is coming from the crows, correct? That's still happening.
The crows sort of settled down, and they've kind of come, and they're kind of, you can see sort of the pack of them sitting at a distance, and they're watching this bird. But if one of them moves closely, it goes quack.
If Ceridwen moves, does it respond?
Not particularly.
Okay. So she's gonna.
So are you going to
Yeah.
hang out here for a while, or what? Here's that.
Gear again, sitting with his eyes closed, opens another eye and looks towards the owl, or towards the eagle. Give them a moment. They're still sad.
Yeah, they can't hear me.
You're gonna be sad for a long time, Gear.
You get a moment. That's all you get. This is Gearland.
Wish he had a Boromir. Give them a moment, for pity's sake. Too soon. Too soon.
Too soon.
How long ago did that movie
Now,
come
I,
out?
I remember when
10
this
years.
was just an area of rocks and sort of a nice little plateau thing. There were animals coming through, and then these pesky humans showed up, and they sort of settled it, and they tried to get, grow crops and things, and they're just noisy. They just chatter on it, kind of like those crows.
When
Gear now opens both eyes.
when
And
this,
the owl looks and blinks back at him.
when this eagle is talking to Gear,
Not
is
owl,
it
but-
making
no, you got me doing it. Eagle.
Is it
making
squawking?
noises? Yeah, is it making noises that Ceridwen can hear, or is it talking to Gear somehow?
She sees the movements. She doesn't hear anything about the
Okay, okay.
I mean, she heard when it was squawking, when it was
Mhm.
when it was actively quarreling with the crows earlier.
But
You'll
just
hear
this conversation.
shifting.
It
like
moves,
preening
it
of
shuffles,
feathers.
it
Feathers, like-
flaps at the
Yeah.
crows period if they get too close. and
Every
all that
time
stuff.
a crow comes close, the click of the beak.
Yeah, so she doesn't hear any vocalizations, bird or otherwise.
Okay.
And Gear sits there. The white mane has not moved. It's just still listening, but Gear sitting next to it. How long have you been here?
I just said it seems like forever, but it has been a long time. I've seen sunrises, sunsets, and snowstorms, and I don't like snowstorms.
Have you ever
Yeah,
lived?
You live in the
See-
wrong place, buddy.
and there used to be a stream that went through here, but then there was a landslide and that stopped that up. And it used to be nice here.
Do you get many
Although
visitors?
these people do leave out bulls for me occasionally, at least, and that's kind of nice. I mean, I suppose they might be worth something. Well, your people here kind of wreaked some havoc on that front, haven't you? I suppose you egged them on.
Have you? He waits to see if the eagle interrupts him again. Seen a wyvern around here.
Ah, pesky wyverns! I hate those things. Oh, I mean, I can hold my own against these crows. As it cranes and looks at the crow.
Ceridwen would
Where's
notice, the
our-
white mane would go.
Big huff.
Wyverns I kind of stay out of the way of.
Ceridwen will kind of tentatively like pat the head, like
Same,
behind the
dude.
ear.
Same.
Yeah, there was a wyvern that used to hunt here before these humans were here. And I think it was going to start a nest and start its pack and all, but I made its nesting area unpleasant. We won't speak of that. And it didn't stay. I might do that to you, and it cranes over to look at here. And you see that. You see it craning over to look at the white mane.
Ceridwen is just really confused by this odd interaction. Should I leave? Like,
The white mane stands up on all fours, and those crystal blue eyes crack open. Begins to look around. And Gear stands up as well. Does the eagle follow?
It fidgets a little. I'm going fishing, and it flies off.
And Gear, standing there, looks down to Ceridwen sitting next to him. And he says, "It's time to hunt." He takes a couple steps, and the white mane takes a couple steps with him and spins the giant head back to look in her direction.
and she'll kind of watch the white mane a little bit because, of course, she can't hear Gear.
Mhm.
But she can read the body language a little bit, so she'll.
It's looking expectant. You know when a puppy dog is turned and look at you expectantly.
She spent enough time in its presence that she understands.
She understands walkies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so Ceridwen will get up, and she's dead on her feet, basically. Like, at the very least, emotionally drained. Like, and like she's got, scrapes and cuts from just like Braum rushing through limbs and just like everything, and calluses on her hands from how much she was firing at such a pace. But she'll get up and kind of look down to the white mane and just kind of give it an ear scratchy.
Mm-hmm.
Gear kind of loosens up his shoulders. Side by side, him and the white mane take a couple steps, and Gear turns into mist. Shakes out the fur, tests the ears, and looks back.
Yeah, and she will kind of look to see if Bill is around, so she doesn't just straight up disappear on him.
Nope,
And if
Bill's
he's
inside
not-
still.
He's inside, then she will she'll leave Braum because that will show that
That'd be
she's
more
not
than
just
enough.
straight
Yeah.
up
You're not going
disappeared.
anywhere without him. Yeah.
Not unless it's incapable of doing so, and so she'll follow the white man.
Perfect.
So it's not too long before you come upon, and all this commotion has driven all the wildlife into their dens, but you watch as the white mane gets down low to the ground. The ears are pinned back against the head, and it begins to creep forward and disappear into the underbrush. There's a flash of white across your vision as an animal is driven out from its burrow, but the white mane is not following it. You've hunted with the white mane before. This is not its style. It fights with claws and with teeth, but this is out in the open. It has driven it straight into you.
Gear style.
Yeah. Shoot it in the ass. Shoot it in the ass.
She kind of has a delayed reaction because she wasn't actually planning on pulling out her bow. She's kind of like, well, I've done enough uh, unconventional hunting today.
Yeah.
But she'll see that the creature kind of is in their path, and she'll kind of look to where the white mane went.
As you are kind of standing there, you see the head is poking out from behind a tree, and as you pull the bow, you watch as the head goes.
And she will take the shot. Rather mechanically, it's just the
Diffidently?
automatic. Diffidently.
That word popped into my head. I think that's the right word, even. Diffidently. And our first
What is
roll,
it?
an hour in.
Yep.
A ceremonial shooting.
What is
So
the
strike?
roll? It's been too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's strike. Oh man, what? I have assets that help with this. It's
I just rolled to
okay.
do the to
Oh,
hit.
plus
Just to,
edge.
Yeah, plus all kinds of things. Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus many.
Oh.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. That had to happen. That's how the story rolled.
That's her thing. Like
Yeah.
again, she's got one thing she's good at.
Just bang. Just like thoughtlessly just drops this creature.
She's loosened up for the day. Like she just one movement and then kind of looks at the white mane because it's acting odd. The white mane isn't acting the way that she's used to. She's hunted with it before, like you said.
Comes out from behind the tree, strutting a little bit. Yeah, I did that. Chase that out for you. That's my kill.
She's really confused and kind of just exhausted and just kind of like, what?
And it walks right up to this small little beaver-like creature and walks right by it. Loser's got to carry the kill.
Well, and Ceridwen will go down, and again, her quiver never emptied because they were somehow brought to her by Kadal, and this is one of those arrows, and so she'll pull it out and kind of just look at it a little more closely because she didn't get a chance to inspect it before. And so she'll just kind of be stopped as the white wing struts away.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pretty good sized river not too far out there.
Is the eagle following us?
No.
No, she went fishing.
Yeah, the eagle went fishing. Well, Ceridwen doesn't know the eagle went fishing.
So while that's going on, back inside the building or tent or whatever it is, wherever Bill is with what remains of gear, generic building.
Existential meltdown.
Yes. He's humming like you do when you're doing a distasteful task, just to distract himself. And he's running his fingers through this dirt and ash and remains. Every once in a while, his filthy fingers come across it, pulls out another little piece of this iron, puts it in his other hand. Tink. Tink. He's gone through the whole thing, and he's got them all 10 of them in his hand. They're all stacked up in a little pile. He looks at them, starts to smile. Well, you messed up, didn't you? You gave me some of your iron, didn't you? You silly thing. I'm bringing this back to you. I'm going to use it to find you, and then I'm going to bring this back to you. And I'm going to put it in you, and I'm going to drag you from here to the farthest ends of hell by these 10 pins for what you did to me and mine.
And there's a crash as something falls off of the shelf.
You do your best, and if that's all you got, then your time's damn short. He closes his hand, and they actually pierce the skin. I'm coming for you.
And there's this
You're
scuttle,
not gonna
and he
like
is
it.
right in front of you in your face.
Who is?
Feet.
Feet. Oh yeah. About time you came back. Hold these,
More
would you?
inside feet.
And he backs up away from them.
Oh, feet's not going to touch those. Fuck
Right.
that.
I got scared when you were gone, you know. Things have changed, my little friend. You're not the only one with power now. Don't you worry, I'll be careful. I'm all about careful. But these are going home. You don't kill my friends and walk away. And he puts them in that little bag that used to have all the stolen trinkets in it. They're in there now. And then he just takes the blanket or burlap or whatever it is that makes up this bed and just pulls all the ends together with all this dirt in it. And walks very carefully, looks out the door to make sure none of you, well, Ceridwen can't see. And he goes around the corner into the trees. And it probably looks fairly unceremonious as he just dumps the dirt and then shakes out the blanket. Folds it back up. Well, you're back where you belong, and I can't think of no way better to put you than that.
I mean, it's gear.
Airmail.
Yeah. I'll never forget you. And he takes the blanket and shoves it into his pack with little bits of gear still on it.
Oh, gross.
And Braum is nearby, kind of near
Mhm.
some trees, just kind of standing there. He's not tied to anything, and yeah, there's
I'm
still
seeing
like
some shit, man.
Yeah. I mean, he's also tired, but yeah, there's a few people still milling around there. Still, they're either collecting belongings or scared, not sure if they can leave like the safety of the situation, but they all look very scared of what just occurred. But Ceridwen is not in sight.
Nope. Yeah, and once I'm done, I'll just go back, take Braum back to the steading, and just sit there around. I'm sure the communal fire's out by this point, but just sit there
Yeah.
with Braum and wait, just sort of staring into this empty fire pit, which is strangely appropriate. One hand still dirty, one palm still bleeding. Just hands in his lap, looking defeated, like he's got no bones in his shoulders. Just
In Gear's mind, loss, disaster, anything, the first thing that you need to do is food and water for everybody that survived. So the white man.
And yeah, Ceridwen and the White Man will hunt for a while until it's enough.
imagine that would probably help Ceridwen, wouldn't it? I mean, you're a hunter. This is what you do. This is automatic. This is, you know what this is. You know how important this is.
Maybe
It's practice.
a
It
brief
helps.
reprieve.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of helps.
I
She has
am
to
helping.
focus. She has to focus enough on something so that her mind stops spinning.
Yeah.
And she thinks about it too hard about being a hunter and how she's basically hunted her own a setting within her circle.
And you
Like-
remember Gear saying you have to feed the survivors.
Mm-hmm. And she, I mean, they live in the Ironlands. They've lived through disasters, like
Oh,
usually
yeah.
they're natural, but
Yep.
um,
If they're alive now, they're probably going to be okay.
mhm. and so like she'll be out hunting for a while and just automatically kind of watching the White Mane as she acts really oddly and kind of cataloging the information for later because like there's mannerisms she's seeing that like it's like in the back of her head it reminds her of Gear, but in the it's always not the first thought that comes to her because that would be ridiculous.
But that's fresh trauma too. You're like, I'm such a fool. I'm seeing him everywhere now.
It's like you see someone everywhere and there's so much bottled up in there that she's not letting herself think too hard about things, and so they'll come back with these few animals that they find.
At one point, you're distracted by some movement up in the sky. and you see that weird bird circling around, and then it starts into a dive with full talons. And just before it gets to the tree line, so just before it disappears out of view, it shifts into something that looks brown and furry, just as it goes down behind, and then it's out of sight.
And Ceridwen saw this.
Ceridwen saw that.
She will follow. Try to
It's at a
find
distance.
That distance, yeah. She'll
probably.
Like she won't,
probably half-mile distance. But.
yeah, she won't go too far, but she'll kind of like again catalog that information. Like there was something there. She doesn't want to go too far from where the setting is and where Bill is at, because
White Mane is going the other way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just messing with you guys.
so once they get enough for the few survivors that remain, which is unfortunately not as much as Ceridwen would like, but there's not that many people around anymore. She'll kind of carry it back, and
You get 4 or 5 small animals, only enough to feed Bill.
And as she walks in, Bill doesn't see her right away, but he hears the gasp of a little girl that's with her mother as she sees Ceridwen come in. And there is terror in this little girl's eyes as she sees Ceridwen coming back in. Just, Ceridwen's not looking up. She doesn't want to see the reaction, but that's the reaction that at least that individual has.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill does that snap roll of defense every time there's fear around. He just rolls and he's somewhere else and comes back up and looks up and sees it's Ceridwen coming into town again.
Mm-hmm. And she ignores the looks of fear, of anger, of grief. She doesn't look up as she kind of goes over to where Bill is around this fire pit and just starts methodically skinning these animals. Like she is slowly becoming more and more robotic in her actions, because she knows if she starts thinking, she's not going to be able to do anything.
Yep. And
Bill
I start just building the fire. Yeah.
Ever insightful would notice the White Mane, and now that you're closer to it, you see it's gotten bigger somehow. Or maybe you just haven't been close enough to it recently, but it walks and it sits next to her, and you watch as it sits there, again, its eyes closed listening, but every once in a while, peek an eye open and look down at Ceridwen's work.
Mm-hmm.
And close it.
Look briefly down at them and say, I get the idea, but I was already having thinks. And he looks over at the White Mane. So, if he's gone, why are you still here?
Still sitting there, eyes closed, pops an eye open and looks at you like you're talking to a wolf right now.
Who does that?
Look, fella, I talk to a cockroach on a regular basis, and it ain't ever talked back to me once, so don't you give me that stink eye.
somewhere 10 minutes ago.
And you feel kind of wrestling around in your pack behind you.
Somewhere 10 minutes ago, Gear, for the first time, heard Feet's voice when he scared Bill. Surprise, motherfucker! But yes, the White Mane sits there, postured, very almost regal looking, as it's, again, crimson from the nose back to the ears, but
yeah.
sits there
You haven't watched
seemingly
that yet?
non-perturbed.
Oh.
I mean, it's Gear, come on.
It's Gear / the White Mane. Neither one of them care. Yeah.
And I think before we go to break here,
Mm-hmm.
Theo.
Yes.
Theo. Theo, damn you, where are you?
Is this the eagle speaking?
No,
No.
Is this happening
Hold up.
elsewhere, or is this happening?
it's happening
This is a
elsewhere.
cutscene, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I was just checking.
And somewhere seemingly on an alternate but similar wavelength, Theo peels his eyes open. Yes.
Theo!
Yes, Melva.
And she gestures out through the window. And there is the transparent form of Amala working in the brambles. Now she's clearly her motion, she's clearly weeding and clearing brambles, but nothing's happening to the land. It's just a transparent image. What's that?
He leans over, glancing through this beautiful kind of open to nature cottage. It looks like a human.
It looks like Amala!
You go and get her. I'll start some tea.
But she isn't there. Look at it. You can look right through her.
He stands up.
What's she doing?
Looks like she's clearing the brambles.
But it's not clearing the brambles. I mean, remember the last time she came here when she did help me clear the brambles. I mean, then she was solid and she did it, and we had a nice time. But what's that?
How about you go grab her? We will ask her over some tea.
Imelda huffs and stomps out the door over towards, and then just shortly before she gets to walk, Amala, dear.
And as she stomps,
Respond at all. It doesn't react at all. It doesn't. She gets kind of around and in front, and there's no evidence that Amala sees her or hears her or anything.
Theo
Guy's poking her, and it
sets
goes
the
right
teapot
through.
down
Yeah.
and begins to walk out of this beautiful cottage in the direction. Peeks around.
What does it mean? She's here, but she's not here.
Isn't that what you told her last time? We are in a place that's not in a place?
Well, yes, but that's us.
She may be
I
taking
don't think.
a little bit more literally than you meant it.
She does that, doesn't she?
Yeah. And that is where we will take our 15-minute break. Whew, that was slightly less than an hour and a half. I forgot how exhausting this is. Holy cow, this is amazing. There was one die roll in that whole thing, and we really didn't need to have it because it was going to succeed no matter what happened. But that, ladies and gentlemen, was an hour and a half of pure storytelling, and I am absolutely positively proud to have been part of it. That was amazing. We're going to do some more of it in about 15 minutes, but first we need to take a little break. So we will be back
Catch our breath.
very, very shortly. See you in 15. And we are back. Whew. 15 minutes is not long enough to recover from what we do to ourselves in this game, but it's all we
We
get.
need more cookies.
We need more cookies. Yeah. Said the spider to the fly.
Pay attention to the cobwebs in the corner.
Or the harpy eagle dancing at your feet. So, with that, and no further ado, let's just drop back in. Who wants to take us? Bill is walking back into the remains of the steading. I'm assuming the last people are sort of leaving now. He's got the blanket in his pack. He's got feet back. He still looks just thrashed, but there's also this little sparkle.
Ceridwen came back, and there were a few, like the last remaining people. Like there was the gasp of fear from the young girl, and then there's some like she's clearly viewed as the antagonist here, even though that's not the case.
Yeah.
And she's just
kind of set her up for that, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense. Her husband's a bastard, but she's just. I mean, Bill can see. I'm sure Gear can see it too, but Bill can see just exhaustion in every movement she has. But it's all like she's moving mechanically, just skinning these things that she hunted with the white mane, and it's just finding a task because she doesn't know what else to do.
Gear is sitting there, cross-legged, hands on his knees, shoulder to shoulder with the white mane, who's sitting on her haunches, both their eyes closed and their ears are open.
And there's the sounds of the people slowly, leaving either towards the direction of Kinheim, either towards the direction of the next steading, which is Stormhole, is the closest one. Yeah, it's just, the slow migration of, in the wake of disaster, they're trying to find safety.
White mane feels a prickle on the back of the neck. White mane feels watched. Not Gear, the white mane.
Interesting. So the ears would kind of shift.
Kind of around back to the right.
Can she hear the eagle?
Mm-mm.
There's a long moment before. Does it go away, or is it consistent?
It just feels watched.
And it's not fleeting. So yeah, both Gear and the white mane would open their eyes. Gear doesn't know why he's opening his eyes, but the white mane turns to cast. Does he see anything?
See, no. Smells a whiff of something.
Past the cooking food?
That's a strong smell.
Well, he's downwind. She's downwind.
The white mane would shoot those crystal blue eyes at Bill. And it is very hard when a wolf looks directly at you to not notice.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Especially that big of a wolf.
Instantly, you go into prey mode, like, start sweating. You're like,
yeah. Right, there's no need to eat me. What are we doing?
Very pointedly, eyes dead set on Bill's. She stands up, turns, and begins to walk towards it.
I'll follow.
There's kind of a sudden movement, and as something sort of tawny colored ducks behind a building.
Well, this is quite literally your backyard. What are we doing?
Apparently trying to sneak on something, so the pot calling the kettle black here.
Ceridwen stays where she is. She doesn't.
So yeah,
So
okay.
Gear
Well,
is
that
still
the
sitting
question
there.
is the white mane in sneak mode? Like, because you can tell when a dog is sneaking.
No, not quite. She's moving deliberately.
Okay. In that case, Bill's doing the tree to tree thing. Like he's near a shadow
House
at
to
all times,
house.
but not in it. Yeah. Yep. Yep. Oh yeah, this is not my happy hunting ground. This is not my happy place at all. I don't like it out here.
And so Gear of two minds at the moment. One is sitting at the fire, listening. The other feels the dirt compressing beneath the pads of his feet. One after another, the shoulder blades sliding past each other as he moves towards this house.
Where is Gear in relation to Ceridwen?
He is somewhere in between his spiritual form would be sitting there, but his consciousness is shared in between him
But
and the white mane.
where is his spiritual form?
I
in
imagined
relation
him-
to Ceridwen?
Like, I imagined it was Ceridwen white mane gear. That's what I was thinking.
So they were on your right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
And so Gear spiritually is sitting right there, but is kind of sharing this fluid consciousness back and forth.
And the white mane catches a brief sight of something tawny further away, darting behind another building.
The big head looks over to, probably can't see Bill, but can smell him.
Gil.
Yeah.
Gil.
Gil.
Hey, Gil. Bill pencils and a mustache. You can call him Gil. So a little creepier this time. It's gonna get low, the ears pinned back, and stalk up this time,
And
getting
I will
lower
split
to
away.
the ground.
Yeah, I will split away so we're flanking, and without even really noticing it, the shadows are just sort of sticking to Bill as he walks through the forest, and it's just building up like a surface.
So
And
pincer around the side.
once
Mhm.
they are out of sight, there's sort of a fluttering, and the eagle comes down and sits halfway around, a quarter around the fire on Gear's right, and it settles down.
Okay.
So there's Ceridwen, an unseen Gear who's mentally somewhere else, and the bird. And the bird sits there and looks interestedly at what you're doing at the fire.
Gear still sitting there
At me, at
cross-legged,
Ceridwen.
hands on his knees, looks towards Ceridwen. Not even looks, just speaks towards her, unheard, says, "It's not mine."
So
And it sort of leads forward. So are you guys setting up shop here or what?
Ceridwen will notice
hears
the
it, but
bird.
Ceridwen does not.
Yeah,
Ceridwen
she'll
sees the
bird.
fluttering of the interested looks, but does not hear the bird.
And she'll kind of choose to ignore it because it's like, this is weird, and I've had too much weird today. And then kind of goes back to like trying to like just focus on one thing. So yeah.
Gear says, drawing some of the venomous sarcasm from Ceridwen. Do you have visitors around here much?
More often than I'd like. Except as it shuffles over and kind of a fish plops down onto the fire.
It knows how to cook.
And it does not look at it. It's like,
Yeah.
what? Why
Yep.
is he- why is he-
Kicks it and it goes into the fire. Gear sits, closes his eyes, and is still trying to focus as every time he tries to kind of quiet himself and listen, that kind of sharing that consciousness, the ruffling of the feathers, everything just keeps snapping him back into place.
You know, I had a visitor back a ways that, you know, was very polite and you know, offered me gifts and things. She could see me. I don't know why she could see me. It was very strange.
How
Of course you
fast
can
did
see
she
me.
run?
I don't know. I didn't test her on that. Should I test you on that? And the bird turns and looks very directly at right next to it. Which of course Ceridwen can see the bird doing this, but can't see Gear that the bird is coming very much interested in looking at. And meanwhile, the thing that Bill and the White Mane are tracking has disappeared. They've lost track, and the scent is gone too.
Interesting.
Well, you're more shit at hunting than I thought you were. Not knowing that it's Gear, he just said that too. He's just insulting the wolf. Right?
Luckily, Gear's consciousness is drawn away from the wolf at this point.
Maybe I should set visitors to some sort of running challenge. What do you think? Could I look scary enough to chase them away? I never tried chasing all these humans away.
Eagle like moving at like a a GoPro.
Yeah.
Just
like craning in and out.
And, it's got huge. I mean, its paws. Its feet and talons are disproportionately large. I mean, that's the nature of these birds. Have very large feet, very large, powerful feet. The strongest of any raptors.
Gear finally breaks. What's your name?
Oh, you decide to be polite, do you? Are you going to offer me your name too?
Gear is regretting it immensely.
He engaged.
Gear takes a deep breath, steels himself. He's been traveling with them all long enough. He is better than this.
Here's the thing, he likes them all. As much as he likes anybody.
He realizes without physical hands, he can't throttle this bird.
And the bird
he will have to make do.
It's like, well, I suppose since it's not my name anyway, you can call me Kira. That's Ciara, pronounced Kira. As I see Robin.
Our lore master maketh notes, and once they are written, they are real.
They're canon.
That's
They're written
right.
in pencil. I can change.
Gear will oblige. You may call me Gear.
Gear. Okay.
And
the bird sort of shuffles, sort of moves itself sideways around the entire fire over to the other side, so it's now on Ceridwen's left.
Anybody who was gathered here for warmth has to deal with.
It turns and it looks at Ceridwen.
And no one came within 5 feet of Ceridwen.
Huh?
Yeah.
No one has come within 5 feet of Ceridwen.
And it comes around and it looks at Ceridwen and it kind of squawks. Now, Gear can say, and how about you? What's your name? But all Ceridwen hears is a squawk right in her face.
Ceridwen, fuck you too, man.
And she'll kind of like lean away from the bird that is getting into her space and kind of just continue working.
And it moves around behind her and over to the other side. So it's now between Ceridwen and Garrett. There, is that better? I'm on the right now. And it looks at Ceridwen.
and she, again, she's been around animals, and but this body, like, she has no idea. No idea.
And
So
Garrett,
she's kind of,
she's a little slow, isn't she?
Gear cracks a smile at that one. Imagining he has this fleeting image of this owl soaring through the air and just getting pumped full of arrows.
And it suddenly sits up straight and kind of waffles a bit. Oh, gotta go. And it flies off. And that's about when the white man and Bill get back.
Mm-hmm. You ever take your dog for a walk and you get out there and you're expecting them to do their business and all they do is walk around and around in fucking circles? Arsehole wolf. Is dinner ready? Ooh, is that a fish?
yeah.
Bill is standing there talking to Ceridwen.
Yeah, with
And the white man's
the
bigger now. It's about shoulder height, and you feel just like the.
And the white mane, as the white mane comes up next to Ceridwen, the scent that it had been tracking was very strong here. But fading.
There was a strange bird hanging around.
Well, that would explain the talon marks on the fish. As he's plating himself up some.
It's burnt to shit, just like Bill likes it.
Yeah.
He's not picky.
He likes it that way because he gets all of those. Nobody else will eat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't be picky.
Yeah. You've got to eat, miss. I know you don't feel like it. I know you don't feel like doing nothing, but you've got to eat.
Yeah. And she's moving again mechanically. There's no thought into it, because if she thinks about it, then things spiral, and she can't afford to get lost in those thoughts right now. She knows that.
Miss, we ain't going anywhere till at least tomorrow morning. I know as soon as I'm done eating here, I'm going to go find one of these little empty buildings and I'm going to have me one hell of a cry. Then I'm going to come back out here and I'm going to have one hell of a sleep. And then in the morning, you and I, we're going to go finish saving the world. Right? You've got till tomorrow morning, miss.
Okay.
And miss, there's lots of empty buildings if you're going to need one.
Yeah.
And just hands Ceridwen the plate that he's been eating off of, and all the burnt bits are gone, but the one little good bit is still there. He just hands her the plate.
Thank you, Belle.
It's just you and me now, miss. We gotta look after each other. So if I can't sneak up behind him and stab him in the arse, then it's going to be up to you to shoot him in the face with your arrows.
We still got them. And she'll again scratch the white mane behind the ear.
And I ain't
Here
figured
goes.
out why yet.
Still
He's like,
groan.
I don't know. When I was out hunting with the white mane, I don't know, I was probably just making things up, but she was acting differently.
Well, that is weird. Because when we were just out here, she can't hunt, miss. She's right awful at it. We followed some furry thing for miles and we never caught it. There's something wrong with that wolf.
Or maybe there was something wrong with the thing you were hunting.
Well, if there was, I can't even catch nothing that's broken.
Maybe it didn't want to be caught.
They very rarely do.
I imagine word is going to reach Frostmouth before we get there. And this has just made things very complicated.
I don't mind complicated, miss. It's easier to fool people when things are complicated. They think you're coming home with your head down, all beaten and defeated, to take what was yours right as far as they're concerned. That's not it at all. You're coming home as a conquering hero. And they're not bloody ready for that, miss.
Or they could see me as some kind of monster.
We can work with that too, miss. And he reaches out his hand, and the shadows that gathered all over him while he was in the forest with the white mane just kind of spread across Ceridwen.
Except it
That's
doesn't
just...
cover completely.
No, that makes sense.
There's a spark that isn't dim. And
See
actually, if
that,
he's looking
miss?
at if he's looking at shadow, Bill can see it.
Can you see this, miss? It's right here. And he's just pointing at just another spot on your body if you're not, I mean, if you don't shadow up, right?
No. I don't see what you're looking at.
I meant to protect you, miss. I was going to wrap you in shadows so no one could see you. But there's a bit right here what won't go dark.
Maybe that's a Mala.
You're damn right it
tether's-
is.
The tether's still there, I think. It's like it was moving in all directions.
Well then, miss, there's hope. And where there's hope, you take that face off the front of your head, miss. That's enough. Time to get to business. We got people to rescue, not people to bury. Well, at least one.
I don't know if I can go back there to my family with them thinking I'm some kind of monster, though.
I said it once. You're not going there the same as you left. The Ceridwen that's done.
I left promising them I would bring Kadal back, and now look at what's happened.
If I'm not wrong, miss, you are bringing Kadal back. He's been in you all along, miss. He's your twin. That's special.
And she'll pull up the arrow one of the arrows she still has from the kill she made, and it clearly is different from the ones she's used before.
Mm-hmm.
This is from him. I don't know how. I didn't run out of arrows, Bill, the entire time.
Oh, miss. You still don't get it, do you?
Get what, Bill?
You're every bit as magical as the rest of us, miss. How else do you explain it?
I don't.
Well, you have to, 'cause there it is. You're bringing him back, miss. How does that make you feel? If you woke up tomorrow morning, here, after a good night's rest, and your brother was sitting on the other side of the fire. See, the face you're making is not the face I expected of someone who's got a long-lost brother. What don't I know,
Scared.
miss?
I'm scared, Bill.
Of what?
Of what's happened to him, of what that means, of what's happened to us and to me. Will he want to see me again? Will we even know each other anymore, or are we strangers?
Well, he knows you, and he's got enough freedom to help you in a situation like this. There's no bad news here, miss. He still is. I don't know what form he's in, but he still is. And he's got enough freedom to help you. I'm gonna ask you again, miss, if he were sitting right there, and there's that face again.
I don't want to lose anyone else, Bill. I can't lose anyone else. I'm not going to pretend I understand everything that's happening. I know I'm slow on the uptake here. But Callista, he who walks behind, look at what they've done. And they have Kadal. That has to have done something. I don't know what.
Miss, the question ain't what they done to him. The question is, how is he? And if he's well enough to help you, that's got to be good news. I think you and I, and he kind of leaves the other two names sort of hanging there in space. I think we might be just a distraction your brother needs. And can you imagine anything more distracting than you going home?
It'll cause quite the stir.
And maybe that's just what he needs, miss. Maybe that's just what he needs.
It's going to be ugly, Bill.
Yes, it is, miss.
They'll try to kill me.
Yes, they will, miss. And I'm here to tell you they ain't gonna do it. You've seen what I can do when I get pissed off, miss.
You are a force of your own when you're angry.
I lost 2 today. I ain't losing a 3rd tomorrow.
Well, it won't be tomorrow or the next. The next setting is Stormwall.
Then by the time we get to there, I need that face to have changed.
I can't promise that, though.
You need to, miss, because if you walk in there looking like that, they'll treat you like the victim you're looking like right now. You're not sneaking on, miss. You're striding boldly through the doors.
I'll try. That's all I can say.
I've seen you try, miss. It'll do. It'll do.
I lost 2 circles today, Bill.
I know. And there's bugger all I can do to make it better.
I'll do my best.
Well, first, some of this rabbit, I think. You hardly had any of that fish.
Like I said, I'll try.
And it's just plate of food and drink, and he goes into server mode. He's just bringing you everything. Trying to snap you out of this funk.
Yeah. And she is clearly appreciative of it, but it doesn't do much. It's waiting until she has that alone time and is stuck with her thoughts type of thing.
Yep. And then as it gets dark, Bill does exactly what he says he was going to do, and he just wanders off and finds a little house somewhere on the edge of town and just lets down all the guard, has a big cry, and then comes back to the fire and makes sure the fire's set up for the night and sets up his bedroll beside the fire.
And Ceridwen's not there when he gets back. She kind of left around the same time. And she actually went out into the woods and just walks and walks for a long time until she's a decent ways away from the steading, and she falls to her knees in the snow along the edge of these mountains. And with hands shaking, just sobs this heartbroken sound that she's hoping the forest will muffle at any way it can. It's it's one of those absolute like ugly cries, like that
Yep.
just you feel
Yep.
deep in your chest.
You just let it all out. Yep.
And she's there. It feels like forever, but who knows how long it is.
And she feels a soft warmth come up next to her. There's kind of warmth, softness, just sort of leaning into her.
And she'll kind of look in that direction. Does she see anything?
The mountain lion. A tawny colored mountain lion, yes.
Yes. Yep.
And she'll kind of be startled out of it a little bit, just because mountain lion.
There's sort of a deep rumbling down its chest.
Does she see the same kind of vibe as the only word that's coming to mind from this mountain lion as that's in like the Willa and the wolf mane, the white mane?
No.
Okay.
No. I mean,
But-
it's not behaving like a normal mountain lion, but it is normal mountain lion colored, normal mountain lion sized.
But it's clearly not on the attacking or hunting side of it.
No. No, it's leaning up against you and kind of purring slightly.
So yeah, Ceridwen will kind of just accept it at this point. And she will be out there for a long time before she gets up and slowly walks back towards fire.
It does not follow her.
While you guys are out, the white mane is moving through the trees, and Kier is kind of coasting along next to her, but for the first time, as you were beyond the audible range of humans, you're not of the wolves, and hearing both Ceridwen and Bill, Gear sits back, lets the white mane go, and just covers his ears.
The barrier is still up. Oh, not visible in the spirit world, but Bill would have seen it.
Yeah.
It's still up.
I'll have to remind Miss Ceridwen of that when she gets back. That's more good news, that is. Now you. And he looks. Oh no, the white man's out in the forest. Never mind. I thought he was still in the camp. So yeah.
And Ceridwen comes back, just trying to be put together, but she's not. And
Yep.
she's not trying to hide it at this point. She's not really looking up. She's exhausted. And we'll just kind of start setting up things for the night.
Things ain't gonna look any better in the brightness of morning, miss. But we got to keep going.
I know.
Oh. Did you notice? Her shield's still up.
The ward she puts up.
That's why nothing bugged us, miss. She were protecting us. And you,
So-
you dirty, mangy booger. He turns around to the white man. There's something wrong with you. And he reaches into his bag.
And
then
there's a moving
stops.
around and rustling around. Your bag kind of moves away from you a little bit.
You're right, Feet. That ain't right. And his hand drops to the little pouch on his hip. And he opens it up and just holds it out so that the white man can sniff it.
It's
Not
not
going
in
near
there.
that shit.
It's not in there.
The iron?
The iron?
Iron's
The
not in
hooks?
there. The hooks are not in there.
Feet took them.
You got feeded.
You got
Revenge. You got vote. The act of voting. Similar to a yeet, not quite a
It's
yoink.
like a yeet, not a yote, but a boat.
Oh man. Yeah, the white mane still would not go near that. And when you go, it like crouches down into like, oh, grrr. And I'm sure you probably get a few strange looks as this, you're probably now like face to face with this thing, like
Yeah.
eye level, and you're like, listen here, you
telling it
little
off.
shit.
Yeah, it outweighs me like 4-1, and I'm telling it off like it's a puppy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, you knew her when she was a puppy. So
Like
that's
what?
good.
Absolutely, that was like 4 days ago. So
Exactly.
they grow up
These
so
things-
fast.
These things grow
Yeah.
quick, yeah.
Yeah, mythical creatures. It's a mythical growth spurt.
Well, she did grow up overnight.
Hmm Several
Or, I
times
don't know,
now.
a 10-day ago or so, but yeah.
Every time we see her, she's
Overnight.
bigger and bigger.
You should see her at full size. She's like 30 feet tall.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's huge,
We call her
wolf.
Clifford.
Well, there was something else I was going to try, but apparently my cockroach knows better than me do, and I do.
You got cock blocked. Sorry.
I'm going to make a request for feet, just like slapping somebody's hand.
He's like, cockroach, you can't do that though. I mean, I've already thought of this. It's like, how does he? I mean, he knocked something off of a shelf, and that didn't do it. What can he do to? What can he physically do to Bill? And it's not much.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Nope.
So
Incoming
Got
feet
antennae.
mode. Incoming feet mode.
the Batman slap with Feet's hand. Yeah.
Pow.
Path. Yeah.
And so
Well, that
you,
didn't work then.
yeah, you'd be facing off with this white mane who's normally very, very scarcely seen, but is oddly present.
Yeah.
And
Well, can't prove nothing yet, but I'm on to you.
Don't antagonize her, Bill.
Has anyone seen the owl?
Not since earlier.
I have.
Well, you can't say anything.
I can yell at you guys, you still don't hear me. Gear's probably sitting there with his arms crossed, watching these two go at it. You're talking to an animal.
Actually, where is the red crest? It struck me. We're in the Veiled Mountains. Where's the red
Yep.
crest?
She would be. And is this the next day, or is this that it's still the same night?
Still night.
Yeah.
Evening, yeah.
Then she would be perched kind of the second layer of trees into the nearby forest, where she can watch and kind of perch and rest, but keep an eye.
What's the connection between the spirit animals?
They're all pretty connected as far as being able to
Gear-
communicate, but it's not like humans would. It's all emotion or visceral kind of feeling.
Would she know the presence of another one?
She not if it didn't want to be known. They have to link. So until they are linked, they can hide from each other.
It's not explicitly trying to hide.
Then she would probably get a little ping in in the direction.
Okay, so she's got a ping.
Oh yeah, then Gear and the White Mane would both go high alert. And yeah,
And
Bill,
so, yeah,
you're like,
now being alert. Yeah, because the red crest was out a little bit away, and so had sort of a clearer sound and less distraction around.
Mhm.
Looking for it, the White Mane can tell it too.
Bill and
It's like,
Bill
it's
and
like, oh yeah, we're in the Veiled Mountains. I forgot. I know what's in the Veiled Mountains.
Bill and Ceridwen are just like asleep, like
Yeah. Oh yeah.
passing
Where's
out to go to
Ceridwen
sleep.
sleeping? We'll get to that. But
Yeah.
yeah, I need to know. I will need to know where Ceridwen's sleeping.
Yeah, she's just outside by the fire. She's not going in any other houses.
Okay. So Red Crest, Gear, and White Mane.
and so
It's quite a bit. It's quite distant.
Gear would look to the White Mane. Watch them. And she would kind of curl up with her ears still perked and her eyes closed, but fully alert. And Gear would spread his wings, give them a shake, make sure that they can catch enough wind and drop off of that tree branch.
All right, I can't do silver, but oh, that's a shape. It's a little square. Okay, so it's a little square instead of a check mark. Whatever. Up on the side of the mountain,
Okay.
northwest of Stormhole, up in the mountains.
And Gear would rip through the trees above, below limbs, moving as if he had practiced this before, but less him controlling it as he's more operating off of the instincts of the Red Crest itself.
How focused is the Red Crest?
She is focused on the trees and moving. He is more focused on kind of spreading their consciousness.
Okay,
It's like
so she's aware
meld.
of her. She's very aware of her surroundings.
Yes.
She's got a shadow.
Oh yeah, Gear would not notice. But there's this kind of melding where they're sharing this space. And as soon as she makes it aware of him, the wings open up straight up in the air. Up above the trees.
Okay.
Does anything follow?
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, it was somewhat higher up, but now if you look around, you can see that the eagle's following you.
Shit. Wonder if I should be worried or not.
Complicated.
It is. Yeah, we'll move.
Where or how?
Not trying to lose the owl, but we'll move in the direction. This time above the trees. It's probably a bad
Okay,
idea.
well, since you're aware of it, clearly aware of it, it comes up closer.
You're following me.
You look like you're on a mission.
You look like you're following me.
Yeah, of course I am. I'm curious.
Can I help you?
Probably not. Unless you want to tell me where you're going. That's always interesting.
Not particularly.
I was following a bat the other day. Kind of tricky following a bat, you know.
Gear can't
It
get away.
turned out it was only after some mosquitoes, and that was kind of boring. But it went out like a bat out of hell, and it was flying really fast, and I got curious and I followed it. You know.
Gear has one thing. He can listen to the spirits. The regrets.
No, Now that's a tattoo. So many regrets.
Oh,
Yeah, Gear's going to, now that the Red Crest doesn't have to focus so much on kind of weaving, he's going to leave the navigation to her and kind of try and tune in and out and like fine tune this ping that he got, but is going to question this eagle.
What are you doing here? And how can you see me?
what do you mean, how can I see you? You're right there.
No one else can see me.
Well, so you're in my realm.
Your realm.
Well, I mean, I don't own the place, but
Are there more of you?
well, duh. What do you think? I'm an only? I mean,
Are
I may
they?
spend most of my time by myself, and that's by choice. I assure you, I was never banished. They can't prove it.
Are the others perhaps more helpful?
You know for a fact no one in this campaign has ever been helpful.
I know.
Helpful. Depends on what you mean by helpful. I'm helpful.
I mean,
I've helped loads of people.
remotely helpful.
I've helped loads of people. I'm helping you. Where are we going?
We're going to find something. Don't.
Okay.
Don't scare it away.
Just don't.
Just don't with a period after.
Yeah.
Don't scare it away. As if I'm very scary. I'm not very scary.
As you're flying in tight formation.
And so as Gear closes in on this creature,
As you start to get, so you kind of have a sort of location down kind of in a cleft. And as you get down closer, there's what looks like the entrance to a cave. And as it becomes clear that that's where you're going, the eagle does a hard backflap and starts squawking. It's like, oh, you're going there. Nope, not doing it. I'm off. Bye. Have fun.
And he was like, thank God.
Gear pulls a pad and paper from his non-existent pockets and starts taking notes on how to get rid of this thing. He's gonna watch for a moment and see where that eagle goes.
It kind of goes. It heads off, and then it kind of pauses and circles, and it goes a little further off, and it's like it keeps being drawn in, but it really doesn't want to go there, and so it's kind of it kind of finds
Its flight pattern is indecisive.
it kind of finds sort of a comfortable
Flighty.
distance and stays about that distance
Yeah.
away.
Mhm.
And so Gear will look at the cave and the red crest that is kind of perched next to him. And he will reach up and grab a handful of the red crest neck feathers and begin to kind of pull on them, that soothing, preening feeling. He'll say,
Your wings are no use in there. Stay here.
he'll take a couple steps forward towards the cave. This is where Gear gets eaten by a bear.
Alright, he can't get eaten.
Where did it go? Where did it go?
This is
Up
probably
there,
the best
and it
place for them to
disappeared.
eat him.
It disappeared. Where did it disappear to?
Your
Wow.
chair is being kneaded like dough.
Oh yes.
Oh, and I think a great leaping might be in store.
Oh, there it is. Oh, it's up under characters. It's not supposed to be under characters. It's supposed to be down under Spirit Guardians.
Yes, human.
Okay, so you're walking. Gear is walking into the cave.
Getting eaten by a bear.
Well, no, I mean it's asleep. So in the back of the cave, there is a sleeping silver bear.
Gear takes a couple of steps forward. And he will sit there for a moment and listen. See if he can hear this
Gear
thing.
knows this. Yes, he can hear it.
Not if he can hear it, if he can hear it.
Yes, he can hear it. He can hear it. Yes.
He will cautiously move around it, checking for signs of iron or corruption or new life.
It's a fully mature bear. You don't see any stain of corruption. You don't feel any iron.
Then, keeping a healthy distance, he'll take a deep breath and he will let out a low growl starting from deep in the gut. Just enough to kind of try to rouse this thing, but not... I mean, there's probably no way to do it without putting it slightly on edge, but he's going to start it out this low, bassy growl and see if he can rouse this thing from its sleep.
Its eyes open up. And it looks directly at you.
Crouches down, ready to be eaten.
And it turns and puts its nose back down on its arm and closes its eyes again.
Move. Still testing this thing out, trying to get closer, but staying out of like swipe range.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to peek around and see if he can find any signs of injury. Any sign that something's been here before he has.
It looks like a lived-in cave for a bear.
No taint, no nothing. Gives a couple quick smells to the wind.
Smells like bear.
And he will move forward and reach out to grab a handful of this thing's fur, see if it responds. This is where it gets eaten.
And it opens one eye, looking at you. But it doesn't do anything else.
Are you not ready for me then? Normally.
And it suddenly stiffens.
Er.
Like it's listening for something.
That fucking eagle.
And it listens. And it listens. And it's watchful. And it slowly relaxes again. It's aware of something, and that something does not appear to be you.
Gear's gonna back away a few steps, close his eyes, and try to listen from the Red Crest's point of view, see what she is focusing on. She spins her head around, hopefully astute for some kind of danger.
And she sort of catches what the bear caught. She's not quite as sensitive to it. Came from the direction of Frostbit.
Shit.
Joy.
Gear looks
And
down
it
at
has,
this.
and it has a taste of taint.
Balls. Gear's going
And actually,
to...
when the bear was tensed, the bear did the hiding thing that they do from the spirits. Didn't hide from Gear, didn't hide from the Red Crest. It was hiding, but it was actively hiding from the other thing in the way that spirits hide from each other.
Would Gear be able to tell if it was the wyvern or not?
I don't know.
They've-
Would Gear be able
no?
to tell?
It's the only corrupted
Nope.
one we've seen
He
so
would not.
far.
He would not be able to tell. He wasn't able to feel these
No.
things at the time he saw the wyvern.
No, all he would know though is that it's the
It's
only
the only
time he's
corrupted
ever
one
seen
we
a
have.
corrupted, the only corrupted one he's ever seen. So yeah.
To be fair, there's a lot of corrupted shit around here, though.
Yeah, but I mean,
Well-
of the spirit animals, yeah.
Well, and if the silver bear is a spirit, then the only other spirit in this area is the wyvern. Suspected.
Up in the wastes,
Yes.
shattered wastes. Yeah.
If I get the silver belt bear, I'm gonna call it Moonpelt.
You're gonna call it what?
Moonpelt.
That's for Brandon, who never watches these, but that's for Brandon.
It's for us.
Yeah, it really is. That's the a non-funny equivalent of an inside joke right there. A very serious equivalent of an inside joke.
And Gear is going to make an attempt to
Oops, too big.
force this, like exude this sense of danger as kind of this body language that they use to communicate. And he's going to speak aloud mostly for himself and say, "You're in danger. They're hunting you. They'll find you."
Think.
Oh, the sarcasm. He'll get along with Ceridwen very
Sarcasm
well.
bear. Yeah.
Okay, so the bear's on the map now. Ooh. I had an image chosen for it.
You were prepared.
So what does Gear do? And where's that friggin' eagle?
Gear's not
Well, because this is a full-grown spirit.
There's
Yep.
a full-grown spirit.
Yeah, and so usually we come too late.
So how big is this thing? Because they get really big.
I mean, a regular grizzly can easily hit 1,000+ pounds. Easily.
Yeah.
Kodiak, the polar bears are even bigger, like 3/4 of a ton, 1,500 pounds, 700 kilos for my Canadian friends.
I mean, just by size, it's probably like height. It's probably massive. It's probably why the eagle's like, no.
It's not uncommon
I'll
for
turn that
grizzlies to
part
be
over
4
to
feet
you,
at the
Austin.
shoulders. Yeah, yeah. It's not
But yeah,
uncommon
it's-
for a real grizzly to
thing
be
is-
4 feet tall at the shoulders. They're
This
huge,
thing is probably huge.
and it's
fucking
mythic.
spirit
So
bear
yeah, I
huge.
mean, our wolf can now look a human in the eyes, a 6-foot tall human in the eyes. So if this is a spirit bear, it can be as big as it needs to be, right? Oh, spirit bear. Oh,
I'm
That's where you
thinking
got
there's
that.
a reason.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, There's a reason that this thing hasn't moved, hasn't left,
Yep.
and has been sleeping.
Okay, no words, because this bears doesn't strike me as kind of a wordy creature, but you get the impression that you're late.
That's
It's
what I was
been waiting.
thinking. And Gear looks down at it.
You won't come then.
Turns and it looks at you.
Gear kind of clenches his teeth together, his jaw cracking.
Your cubs, they're in the mountains. I was too late.
No, it was one of the cubs.
Was it?
Was it?
It's the one you did save?
Or did someone else save it?
Or did you not even know you saved it? You found the dead ones? There was one hidden under a bush.
This one, well, if this one is fully grown,
Yep.
normally Gear will shepherd the next generation. But if he stumbled upon the parent
Yeah.
and she's already given birth to the next generation, then he still has to find them. And this one already knows that its life is coming to an end.
But it's also a mother. I think it comes with you. Oh.
Depends what
Oh.
you say to her.
There's an offer. Again, it's not really words, but I mean, I got to use words to describe it. Take me. And you see the body is weak and fading. She doesn't mean take me, but the body.
Mm-hmm.
Spirit bear.
Gear takes a moment.
If they find you, they will plunge iron into your hide.
And he pulls the gauntlet tighter. Laces start creaking as he pulls them.
Come with me.
And it does have a knowing look in its eyes. It knows.
Yeah.
It knows what the danger is. And it looks hesitant.
Gear
This
tightens.
is a new terrain for Gear. This is a new area.
He's gonna need some kind of help finding these cubs.
He's gonna need Ceridwen.
And he's going to need something for these cubs, since they've already been born, to know that he's not a threat to them.
Yep.
And he looks at this beautiful, massive grizzly bear. He's probably the size of its ear. And he says,
Come with me. I know you can't walk, but I can't leave you here for them to claim you with the iron.
It's a Sam moment. Sam to Frodo moment.
and he cocks back his hand.
Help me find the babies.
and he's going to plunge the claws into the bear's neck and pull upward, spilling this blood all over the silver pelt.
And the bear steps out of the, out of the physical form.
And
And
as
it looks expectantly at you and it's waiting. So it's standing now and waiting.
the pools of blood begin to spill, both the red crest and the white mane and feet all have a physical, visceral reaction to it as one of the spirit creatures goes dark. It's as if part of their essence has just been yanked from them.
So now we're 3-2. And with it all in the balance, we're going to call an end to tonight
I've
for
one.
next week.
I have
Uh-oh.
one
Go
more
ahead.
thing.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
As this happens, a lot of time has passed, and the sun is starting to creep up over the mountains. And when Bill wakes up, Ceridwen's already awake. And she's standing by Brom, kind of getting things ready and set up to go. Her hair is shorter. It's now just above shoulder length. It used to be quite long.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks over at him as she hears him wake up, and she looks at him with this. Definitely, she's not back to normal,
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of hardened. And she says, "Well, we should get going."
And there's a great big grin on Bill's face as he comes up off because he's been sleeping on the ground all night and he's old.
Mm-hmm.
But the grin does not fade. And he stands up and he says, "Right then, there might not be a damn thing right in the world, but I got you on my side and you're pissed off. Let's go, miss." And that is where we will drop the curtain on tonight. Ooh. Technically, half the party died tonight. So, yeah, technically, yeah. So we'll see where this
And
goes
we
from
had
here.
one dice roll that wasn't even
One die roll that
necessary.
was completely unnecessary. Yeah, it was just for the purposes. Yeah, Solar, good one indeed. Every week, these people amaze me with where they go with these story. Oh, I just try and keep up. It's unbelievable. Speaking of these people, it is that time of the night.
We split the
You
party
split
in a
the
new
party.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
you
Mud. You
got
know
a
my.
point.
You know my rule. Always split the party.
Kevin likes to
Always
split
split
the
the party.
The last episode, we had all four of us going all different directions.
Yep.
I mean,
And
no
if
two
your
of us were
DM
together
can't
most
handle
of
it,
the
find a
time.
new DM.
In
There
fact-
is
the
no
party.
DM.
In
Get
fact,
rid of the DM.
shatter the party. Hopes
Yes.
and
Yeah.
dreams.
Yeah. 4 maps. 4 players. 4 maps. That's the only way to go.
Or players,
But-
5 maps.
Yeah. I'm in 2 places at the same time. Shit. And I'm hasted.
You mean-
5 attacks per round.
Gear is in
Caffeine.
2 places at once.
Gears in like
Gears in
3
multiple
or
heads
4.
at once. I want to see what Gear looks like when he comes out of this. This is going to be interesting.
I'm really enjoying though. There's like this kind of sensory, like the mind meld.
Yeah.
The metaphysical.
Well, there's. I think
aspect.
I think it's fair to say that couldn't have happened. This whole like disembodied gear thing would not really have been doable in some of the more traditional RPG formats. It would be very difficult to do it, but I can easily see like Gear gets stuck in the white mane and us still being able to play his character sheet. Like, no problem.
Oh yeah.
So that strikes me as really
Just need
interesting.
Some creativity. No, you could
Yeah.
do it in some of the other.
But it's so based on the storytelling, and it's
Yeah.
been 2 or 3 sessions since I've rolled a set of dice. So
Yeah, exactly. I figured out very quickly, and that's why I picked you guys. I wanted storytellers. I wanted this to be a storytelling game. This is a crazy world with an amazing system that never tells you exactly what to do. It always just gives you an obscure hint. And with the four of us sitting in the room, an obscure hint is 3 storylines and a follower, right? So, but you wonderful people, you keep trying to put me off. I'm going to introduce you one at a time, and I'm going to tell everybody how great you are. So let's start with Robin. Where can they find you? And I know you've got an upcoming project because I'm part of it. So tell us about that too.
You can find me anywhere on the internet at Thunderscape7. Mostly on Twitter is where I post a lot of my art. I've got an in progress thing that is on hold because I'm in the middle of a move. But hopefully we'll finish it once I'm set up again. I'm also the keeper of the wiki and upkeeper of all the information that we put on there and add to and create together. And that includes, different summaries of the episodes, the links to those episodes, the characters,
If anybody wants to see how a wiki should look, go look at the Dirty 20 Gaming Plays Ironsworn wiki. It looks, Wikipedia wishes they had their shit together as much as that page does. I'm serious, man. It is it's far more professional than me running this operation out of my, yeah. So anyway.
Too much time on my hands.
You've also got, with another friend of mine, you are blogging, right?
Yes, I'm a contributor on the Scarred Adventurer blog, run by Jacob from the Mercs of Mischief. He plays Lucas on Sundays.
And Richard and
Richard
and Alan
and he's been on the Fun Shots a couple times as
Yep.
well. And I just recently actually added a poem from Ceridwen's point of view up there.
Yeah.
So if you want to check it out, it's right there. It's called Dear Brother. And so you can tell where that's going. And then as far as the new project that Kevin is talking about, he is thinking about starting a new series on this channel, and I have volunteered to help with art in that regard.
Gonna do our character art. It's I'll talk about it more in a second, but it's a 5-session prequel and then a 10-session season. And for the season, to give her enough time to get this done, we're gonna have the character art for the season done by the wonderful and talented Thunderscape7. Which brings us to, and I wait. Well, I guess so. Yeah, sure. Let's do them in order for once. Yeah, let's do it in order for once. Me. On Mondays, I am Guy Bontemps over on the Mercenaries of Mischief. There's some crossover episodes coming up. There's some alternate world stuff coming up. So there will be multiple Guys and much mayhem. So that's going to be fun. On much mischief, yes. And then Tuesday, early morning. It's so early, it's almost still Tuesday. I get together with some wonderful, marvelous, and talented Australians and play a horror Starfinder game. So sci-fi horror. There's only one episode left. So if you were ever going to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning to watch somebody play a role-playing game, this upcoming Wednesday is the day to do it, because all 4 of us are still technically alive in a horror show that's only got 2 hours left. So yeah, you're only going to be able to count to 4 windows with people in them for a very short period of time on Wednesday, I'm assuming. And then Wednesdays and Thursdays, I do some offline stuff as well. A game with a couple of these folks Wednesday nights. Thursdays, I do a thing called Dorm Life, where we take some of the folks from the Mercs of Mischief Discord chat and some people that haven't played D&D before, and I run them through a session 0 where we build a character and learn how the characters work, and then through a series, at least one adventure with a group that we've got sort of in perpetuity running, and you sort of jump in and do a couple of days with us and pop out the other side more or less ready to play D&D, even if you've never done it before. Thursdays I come here and do this. Fridays, normally we do Fun Shot Fridays. We're not doing one tomorrow because I got an upcoming project and I'm behind, so I had to cancel tomorrow. But but normally Fridays we do the Fun Shot Fridays where we play ridiculously violent one-page fun shots with a bunch of different people every week. And then starting in October, October 3rd is going to be the 15-week run of my Starfinder hard science fiction campaign. If you are a fan of Isaac Asimov, Heinlein, Herbert, the classic Star Treks, that sort of stuff, you'll love this. There's no magic. It's all science. It's much more Star Trek than Star Wars. So if that appeals, pop in on October the 3rd and check us out. Slightly earlier start time than this. We start at 6, not 7. You'll recognize most of the people in that game too from various other games that I'm in. And that's the most I've talked about myself in ages. Kara, save me. Talk about yourself for a while.
I've mostly been hiding in an undisclosed location.
Yes, out of the smoke, as I understand it.
Yeah. I've done a fair amount of work in Minecraft on my desert palace, but I have done no streaming, no recording, none of that. Because,
Absolutely.
yes,
It's
I've been hiding away from the smoke on the West Coast, and I'm just starting to get back.
Damn straight. Yeah, I'm there with you, and it's getting
I
it's
have
hard to
made
talk.
So when on YouTube, when a Minecraft episode comes out, it's going to show you all the fabulous progress I've done on this desert palace. But
amazing.
It's going to have a ton of content in
it. Well, yeah, what else are you going to do while you can't go outside, right?
Yeah, I've had a couple of my peeps, Zach the Dragon and Truck Pipe, who are a couple of my server mates, have both sort of offered. It's like, if you send us the clips and send us a script, we'll do voiceovers. And so we've
nice.
Making faux scripts.
Oh, yes. Oh, the Mystery Science Theater is 3000. I keep trying to talk people into doing that. It is so much fun.
I love that. That was so much fun. It was such a cool way to watch B sci-fi.
Yep. Oh, yeah. You pick a bad sci-fi movie and you turn off the sound, and everybody picks a character, and off you go, and you see what you end up with. It's great fun.
Oh, yeah,
we did it with Star Wars because everybody knows every sentence in Star Wars, right? So yeah.
But that's not bad sci-fi. You got to have the really bad sci-fi.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was talking to people earlier today. The original Doctor Who, where you could see the feet underneath the Daleks. Yeah.
Basilisk is a good one.
Yes, it is. Yeah. And unbelievably, this final dude is doing a bazillion hours of life, and he still manages to play 4 nights a week. Or get us up to speed, Austin. 4 nights a week.
So, Monday, I play in a group of all DMs, and so coming up in the next few weeks, we are switching over, and I will be running an adventure for all of these lovely gentlemen that I play with. All DMs, we will be level 18 running D&D 5e, and I will be running an eldritch horror themed adventure called Fear the Old Blood.
Oh,
and it
is going to be lovely.
Yes, I'll bet. Yeah, you got to record that and get those guys' permission. I want to listen to that. I know most of them. I used to be part of that group.
I'll see if maybe Jeremy can record it, and then we'll see if we can throw it up on YouTube or not. No pressure. Level 18.
Just, put it up unlisted so nobody else can see it. But yeah,
our wizard has true polymorph and wish, so I'm gonna have to figure something.
That's gonna be fun. Yeah, that's an anti-magic shield. That's all that takes.
And then, so Tuesday, I also run an adventure where Karis is a part of our group, and they're getting pretty close to figuring out a couple big things. There's a few big bombs that have dropped. I'm not going to give anything away in case anybody's watching, but things are heating up.
Say whatever you want.
Things are heating up. Wednesday, I also play with both Kevin and with Robin, and then Thursday, I'm here with all of them all together at the same time.
Yeah.
Although the Tuesday group, we're trying to entice his Monday group made a cameo in our game one Tuesday, and we're trying to attract them back again.
The very cool thing about this Monday night group is it's a great place where you can test your adventures and put them through the freaking ringer, because if DMs can't break them, you're set.
Yeah.
And so this adventure that I'm running on Tuesday was originally an adventure in the Monday night group with all of the DMs, and so they made a rather large cameo appearance in which
So
they
cool.
discussed a lot of the landmarks which paid homage to the first adventurers that went through the city. So there were a few prices to be paid and a few interesting facts that were revealed, but it was quite fun.
And we're trying to attract them back. We've sent them a message now. We're trying to attract them back.
Well, you've got an insider, so you should be all right there. In fact, your insider is now the longest serving member of that group.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, by leaps and bounds now. But so, as you can imagine, after hearing those 4 backstories of the real people in this game, not just the characters, you can pretty much see why I picked them when I went, I need 3 good storytellers. So here they are. That's what they're doing when they're not here. That's how they decompress from what we do here every Thursday, and then we all get back here next week and do it all to ourselves
no,
again.
I use it to build up so that I'm ready to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't think I just walk in and do this, do you?
I don't know about you, but I always sacrifice a duck. So,
Ducks are one of God's better ideas. Thank you very much.
yes, which is why they
You
appreciate
can
it so much
sacrifice a
when you
chicken, but not a
sacrifice one.
duck.
No, you sacrifice a chicken, the god goes, really, a chicken? I mean, they're not even hard to catch. And then we do the Terry Pratchett with it anyway, because you have to do the Terry Pratchett version of it, where it is sacrificed and then prepared and cooked and left on an unwatched altar in a room where the priests have access. And if it gets eaten, must have been the god.
Definitely wasn't the hungry person.
Definitely not the priests eating the sacrifices. Absolutely guaranteed not the wonderful roast duck sacrifice. Anyway, I should probably get back to this. There's one more thing I have to do. There are 5 thank yous I have to do before I let everybody go, if anybody's left. Robin, thank you. I can always count on you to go places I wasn't expecting. The haircut tonight was shocking. I almost said Cadell when I woke up, but interesting twist. Really, out of all the big things that happened, it was this tiny little one that kind of stuck with me with you tonight. Karis, I am in my head. I spent half of tonight writing a one-shot for you to play that friggin' bird in.
Oh, no.
That harpy eagle is. I'm right. There's I've never written
the bear because the bear knows what it is.
Well, I've never written an anthropomorphic adventure before, so this is going to be the first time I've done that, and I am absolutely going to invite you to play that harpy eagle. I love that character. It's wonderful.
Cut to gear going.
And we needed this.
I
That
know
was
I just
exactly when we
murdered
needed
you,
this
but-
moment of lightness, right? Yeah.
We needed
Well,
something.
I needed,
Yeah.
I needed to pester gear, and so yeah, I was pondering gear pester.
Well, Gear wouldn't have interacted with anybody.
She's not
Yep.
an eagle. I mean, yeah, she's an eagle, but she's not an eagle. You know
And
that.
speaking of gear, Austin, I love this character without a body. This I'm talking and nobody can hear. I'm 3 different creatures, but
Oh,
nobody
no, I got out
knows.
again.
And then resisting the urge to. Oh no! Did we freeze again?
No.
Oh, he did. He froze. He's back.
Wasn't
okay.
here.
Sorry,
It's okay. No, it's all right. I'll start again. I don't mind saying this twice. You're in one sense you're playing 4.5 characters right now, right? I mean, you're the white mane, you're the owl, Uwula, you're the what's left of this bear, you're what's left of gear. There's all these bits and pieces, and what I really like about it is you resisted the urge to fix it.
Oh no.
Like you froze again? Oh shit, we can still hear you. We can still see you.
But it's not
Anyway,
like-
that's all I wanted to say about him anyway. So thank him for that. And then the
And
last
thank him
2
for the
as
fact
always.
and thank him for the fact that I also said we don't fix Amala yet either.
Yes, absolutely.
It's
Austin
gonna
was
take
right
time,
about that.
folks.
Yeah, Austin was right about that.
And
Uh-oh.
which leaves us with 2 thank yous as they're dropping like flies.
It wasn't me.
You guys in chat. No, I didn't say the spider got them. These flies sometimes die. They don't all die in webs.
Figured if I drop my video, I'd be able
That
to
might
at least
help,
get
yeah.
some audio in, but
Absolutely. So so the final two thank yous for the people that are still in chat. Thank you so much, Solar. I see you're still there. The other ones that were there tonight, Mudkip and everybody. I also saw a couple names in there that I had never seen before. So I hope you're still here. And thank you so much for watching. I hope we didn't scare you off. This is what happens every week. So if you like this, come back. This will happen every week. And the final thank you for all those people on YouTube watching in the future. And I don't even know who you are yet, but thank you all too. And with that, I'm going to end the same way I finished them all now. Please be nice to each other.
Be
Good night.
safe.